The cuts keep coming. Now, President Trump is eliminating more than 6,700 jobs at the Internal Revenue Service, the agency that collects 96% of the money that funds the federal government.
And he's doing this at the height of tax season, when Americans are checking their mailboxes for the W-2s and 1099s they need to fill out their 1040s.
And here's another number for you, 800-829-1040. That is the number many taxpayers will be calling to reach the IRS for help and hoping they'll reach an experienced agent to answer their questions.
Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes looks tonight at the impact of the IRS cuts on the workers and on Americans who depend on them. Nancy?
John, the cuts this week amount to about 6 to 8% of the IRS workforce, and sources tell us they don't believe these cuts are over yet. It's a sharp reversal for an agency that spent the past 2 years aggressively trying to boost staffing to become more responsive to taxpayers.
I always knew I wanted to work for the IRS. This was my dream job.
Today was day one of Elizabeth Caron's job search. The 22-year-old from New Orleans was let go yesterday after just 6 months at the IRS, where she worked as an auditor on high-income tax returns.
We were already really needing more employees to handle the cases that we already had.
CBS News obtained an email that was sent to IRS workers this week. It said those being fired were newer probationary employees who were not deemed as critical to filing season. What do we know about the people who are being let go?
I'm hearing that it is across all functions. So it includes people who provide taxpayer services and answers the phones.
Lily Batchelder is a tax policy expert and served as an assistant Treasury secretary under President Biden.
I just don't see how, when you suddenly fire thousands of employees in the middle of the filing season, that is not going to put the filing season at risk.
Administration officials say in any operation that is in debt, you would look to cut costs and lay off workers. Why isn't that a valid approach in this case?
Well, first of all, the IRS actually brings in revenue. So for every dollar that you invest in the IRS, it reduces budget deficits by $6.
Kevin Hassett, one of President Trump's top economic advisors, told reporters at the White House that all the federal job cuts will make agencies more efficient.
Nobody's going to the buildings. People aren't commuting because nobody's doing their job.
So you're saying that everybody who's being let go was doing a bad job?
I'm saying that we're studying every agency and deciding who to let go and why. And we're doing so very rationally with a lot of support from analysis.
I asked him about the many fired workers who, like Caron, say they have no record of poor performance.
Yeah, I've never seen a person who was laid off for poor performance say that they were performing poorly.
Those statements are honestly an insult to me, absolutely. Like I'm getting choked up thinking about that because that's offensive to me.
So, Nancy, here we are in tax season. What kind of impact do we expect these cuts to have on the taxpayers?
Well, in the short term, Maurice, we'll probably see fewer audits of wealthy individuals and small businesses. Those audits bring in a lot of revenue. You could also start to see wait times to get someone on the phone begin to inch back up. They had come down pretty precipitously since 2022 when Congress passed $80 billion in additional funds to help the IRS modernize and hire more workers. Those are the very new workers who are now being shown the door.